This is CBC Here and Now.
Most importantly, it's our job as government to protect the citizens of this province.
We want to make sure we have a very safe work environment.
The province mandates COVID-19 vaccines for all public sector workers.
From office workers to teachers and healthcare workers.
Well, unfortunately, the RDF continues for most of the weekend. However, there is a little bit of sunshine in the forecast for some.
After being diagnosed with cancer earlier this year, a St. John's man will run from Cape Spear to Cabot Tower to raise money and awareness.
Push my mental and physical strength to prove that I can do this, and just something to believe in.
I'm Jeremy Eaton, and I'll have that story coming up on Here and Now.
Welcome to Here and Now. I'm Carolyn Stokes.
And I'm Anthony Germain. Today, Newfoundland and Labrador became the latest province to introduce mandatory vaccinations to prevent the spread of COVID-19. It's a broad policy that applies to more than government employees, and it's going to have serious consequences for those who decide not to comply. Here now's Mark Quinn joins us live with the details. Mark.
Anthony, the policy applies to government employees, but it's not just for government employees. It also applies to people who serve vulnerable populations, employees such as home care workers and school teachers. And it applies to employees at private businesses that require vaccine passports. According to the policy, all of them must be fully vaccinated by December 17th, and those who don't comply will face leave without pay.
Most importantly, it's our job as government to protect the citizens of this province in definitely turbulent times. And so if a healthcare worker is in a hospital exposing people who are vulnerable, immunocompromised to this virus, that's unacceptable, and we can't allow that to happen, and would arguably cause more destruction within the healthcare system itself than suspending someone without pay.
Now, Minister Siobhan Coady was also at the announcement. She said that in rare cases there will be medical exemptions. Coady said she expects the vast majority of healthcare workers are already vaccinated, but she underscored what Fury said.
There are circumstances for medical exemption, and we will adhere to all legislative requirements as well. For example, anything under the Human Rights Act would have to be considered as well. But contravention of this policy, given the circumstances, could result and may result in the employer asking the employee to be absent from the workplace without pay.
Now, Fury said details about how the policy will be enforced at private businesses are still to come. The provincial officials said they don't know how many people this policy applies to or how many of those people are not vaccinated. Live in St. John's, I'm Mark Quinn for Here and Now.
In a rare show of unity with the government, unions representing thousands of public sector workers expressed either guarded or full support for the mandatory vaccine policy. And the man in charge of NAPE, the largest public sector union, had this reaction.
I would encourage people, unless they have an exemption, to please get vaccinated for the health and safety of themselves and their co-workers, for the health and safety of people that's entrusted in their care.
Earl says NAPE will support those who can make a legitimate argument for an exemption to the policy, but it's expected the number of people who would fit into that category, either because of medical or human rights reasons, will be very small in number. Meanwhile, the Registered Nurses Union is fully on board with mandatory vaccinations.
We're totally supportive. We want to ensure safe and healthy workplaces for our members and everybody who works in the healthcare system. We have had clusters in the province where that has put our healthcare system at a standstill. People's surgeries are cancelled, people's procedures are cancelled, diagnostics. People are dying because they're waiting for their surgeries or their diagnostics to happen, or they're getting really sick while they're waiting.
Well, still with COVID news, there are 4 new cases of COVID-19 in Newfoundland and Labrador. 2 are in the Eastern Health Region, 1 in Central and 1 in the Western Health Region. There are 53 active cases of COVID-19 in the province. 9 people are in hospital because of COVID-19. 4 are in critical care.
Well, taking a look at the temperatures today across the board, another cool day for those areas along the northeast, only reaching about 9 degrees in Bonavista today, 6 in Twillingate, but the further west and south you go, like has been for most of the week, we're seeing those much nicer temperatures. Burgeo today, in fact, took the hot spot across the province at 17 degrees. And then we've got those single digits up across Labrador. The other thing today, how breezy and windy it was, certainly for eastern areas. 93 kilometers per hour topped out at Bonavista, 87 in St. John's. Even Gander seeing winds gusting up about 70 kilometers per hour. This was the wind report earlier today. You could see those gusts most of the afternoon for St. John's, anywhere from 60 to 70 kilometers per hour. They're starting to ease now, and that's the case really across the board. 67 kilometers per hour right now in Bonavista. But as we head through the evening hours tonight, those winds will eventually die down, at least gusting anywhere from 30 to 50 kilometers per hour. But I'll get into the rest of the details when I come back.
Thanks, Ashley. Well, a former chief financial officer with a Liberal election campaign on the Avalon Peninsula is facing fraud charges. 42-year-old Corey Trask of Upper Island Cove is charged with fraud and theft over $5,000 and breach of trust. The RCMP says it was notified in June about fraudulent activity that was detected by the Harbour Grace Port-de-Grave District Liberal Party following a forensic audit. Police say approximately $9,000 was taken from the campaign fund.
We seem to have entered a period of confrontation between the province's doctors and the government, and I want to step away from the rhetoric and talk about policy, especially when it comes to family medicine. And I'm here in Torbay at the clinic of Dr. Alison Drover. So, Dr. Drover, how many patients do you have?
I have about 2,200 patients right now.
2,200, and that's a lot, right?
That is a lot, yeah. I didn't always have that many. I've been approached by many patients over the past 18 months or so, asking me to take them on additionally to my over full clinic. And so now I am over full. So it is not the ideal amount for a full-time practicing physician to have more than 2,000 patients.
And do you still get calls from people saying, hey,
hundreds
maybe I can
calls,
get Dr. Drover?
Thousands of calls. We are sometimes we are exceeding 1,000 calls a day. We have e-phones that can tell us. So yeah, it's very the demand is quite considerable.
What's your sense of the impact of this on people when we hear, on the one hand we hear that we've got to find some solutions to these problems, but obviously you're somebody who lives with this. What's the overall impact to people? So if you expand it beyond your practice, what's your sense of the impact of this?
I mean, there are 100,000 people without a family doctor right now. They are getting sicker. They are having diseases that are unmanaged, like heart disease and diabetes. They have cancers that are not diagnosed yet. Those patients are getting sicker. Our emergency departments are crowded, and this is not an unconnected fact. Our specialists are having to do some primary care because of that. So the patients are desperate and seeking help, and they've been crying out for it, and they haven't been heard. And my role as a physician is to represent my patients as best I can, and to do, the ethical thing, which is to try to help them. And right now we're hitting a brick wall with government in those.
With respect to what messages you've been taking from Dr. Haggie and the government, what's your sense of where they're getting things right and where they're getting things wrong?
So in the past year, Dr. Haggie's been speaking a lot about the teams approach, which I am very much in support of. I think all doctors and nurses want to work in teams. That's how we do our best work. And so Dr. Haggie has been saying, we don't need more family doctors, we need teams. He's right, but those teams haven't happened. So if you want to do teams, let's get it done. Do it. Put a nurse into the clinics. Let's start seeing these patients who don't have care. We're not, this team approach that he's talking about is just a superficial, that's just talk, because it hasn't actually happened on the ground. We have collaborative care clinics that have started, but they don't have staff for them. So they're advertising for staff for those collaborative care clinics. They're already full. They already have waiting lists, and we still have 100,000 patients without a family doctor.
So I just want to be clear. So are you saying that the idea of teams is something that family doctors generally support, but that there just aren't the people to actually staff and create those teams? I mean, if they haven't happened, why haven't they happened?
So the main Dr. Haggie speaks about the health authority being in charge of that, but the health authority actually has nothing to do with private family physicians in the community in most urban areas. So in rural areas, the health authority will make a clinic and try to staff it. There's 60 or 70 unstaffed positions right now that are advertised. But in a practice like this, the health authority has nothing to do with this. We see a resident who graduates and they come out in practice, they say, I want to work in Torbay. They go check out the rent, they pay the rent, they pay the heat, they hire some staff and they get to work. The health authority has nothing to do with it. So when Dr. Haggie is saying that, well, we can move people around and it's up to the health authority, they're actually completely irrelevant to this process. They never will be involved. So I think that ingredient is missing in his speech about it.
So short of finding new doctors, what's the solution? Because I take it you're of the opinion that this province right now is not a very attractive place for people who do what you do.
No, it's a little demoralizing. We have we want to appeal to more doctors. We need more nurses, of course. We need more doctors, but we can't attract them here. We can't even keep them. We had 36 graduates from our residency program in family medicine this year. One set up in practice to look after patients and to take on new patients. One, and we've had a dozen who've retired in the same amount of time. So it's an unattractive place because we have a very high patient demand. We have, unfortunately, the sickest patients in the country based on the data that the health authority has provided. Mm-hmm. We have really awful working conditions, to be honest, because we don't have that team approach embedded. So the doctor takes on absolutely everything and a constant overflow of patients needing care. We don't have locum, so we can't take any time off. And so those demands are hard. The physicians out in rural areas also have no one to look after when a patient retires or resigns from a practice. The doctors there are actually absorbing those extra patients into their practice, and they are absolutely overwhelmed and swamped, not safe. And so we're also, I hate to talk about it, but we're also the lowest paid physicians in the country, bar none. The physicians, the family physicians in Newfoundland and Labrador are the lowest paid in the country. None of us are poor, but we're not getting them to move here with poor working conditions and the lowest pay. Kind of salary.
All right, Dr. Drover, appreciate that. Now I want to challenge you on something, and that has to do with the general approach to the teams that you mentioned, but we're going to save that for Monday on Here and Now. Don't miss it. Meanwhile, Alison Drover isn't the only doctor who's speaking out. On Monday, we will also have a medical student on the program who says the way the province is responding to the doctor shortage has led him to change careers.
It's almost like, swimming upstream is how I've heard it described to set up a practice here. I don't want to work in a system where my services are not valued by the operator of that system. I just don't think that is a sustainable or happy work environment.
A varsity athlete, long-distance runner, and Ironman triathlete got the shock of his life earlier this year when he was diagnosed with cancer. He's only 35 years of age with a young son and a baby on the way. Mike Daw turned to exercise to help in his fight against cancer.
With the support of his family, he completed the Ironman distances just 11 days after this diagnosis, and he hasn't stopped since. Now, the St. John's man will run the 20-kilometer Cape to Cabot race this Sunday to raise awareness and money. Here and Now's Jeremy Eaton caught up with Mike Daw atop a windy and rainy Signal Hill today.
April 29th, 9:50 a.m. local. I got diagnosed with metastatic thyroid cancer. In that moment, I felt I disintegrated into the chair. My wife was 33 weeks pregnant, just started a new job, just moved into a new house. The things that, you're doing often at this kind of age. And to say my world was rocked is an understatement for sure. It's like I don't even remember what happened that week. I remember picking up the kids we had one son at the time, and picking him up from daycare, and just, obviously he doesn't get it, but I'm hugging him tight. It was surreal. That whole next week was a blur. Once I got diagnosed with metastatic thyroid cancer this year, I've just continued to talk about and promote how much physical fitness and physical activity of any form, any shape, size, duration, intensity, anything has really helped me in coping and moving through this. It's been such a great outlet. So I launched the Get You Active Challenge, which was something I came up with in working with Mr. Jeff Eaton at Young Adult Cancer Canada. Basically a way to promote the benefits of physical activity and exercise for people that may be going through with similar situations as myself. But it's not just cancer, anybody of any age. I've said anybody with anybody. Awareness is nothing without action. And so, that's why the Get You Active Challenge was about getting bodies moving, getting people up and active and promoting physical activity and wellness. And we've also created a site where people can donate to our cause in support of Young Adult Cancer Canada and the Get You Active Challenge. The response has been nothing short of humbling. I can't get over it. As of this morning, we've raised almost $7,200.
The funds in Mike's Get You Active Challenge will be used to connect young adults just like him to other young adults. YAC runs a community of about 5,000 young adults across the country right now. They are living with, through, and beyond cancer, and we are here to support them in that pursuit, and grateful to have partners engaged with us like Mike and all of the people that have supported him in this effort.
Whether I got to run, walk, crab walk, skateboard, no matter what it is, on my hands and knees, for the final mile of the race, I'll be carrying the Young Adult Cancer Canada flag over my shoulder, bringing as much attention to this very awesome and very important cause on Sunday. And like I said, I'll be dedicating every step of it. Before, after, all my energy, all my heart and soul I'll be putting into this on Sunday in support of Young Adult Cancer Canada and the many people that have been faced by this awful situation.
It was a horrific experience. Obviously, I had never been in trouble in my life.
Once wrongfully convicted of murder, Greg Parsons has risen above the trauma of his past and now owns the title of St. John's Firefighter of the Year. Next week on Here and Now, he opens up about wanting to help others who face the same mental health anguish, and he also talks about what his future may be like.
My wife and I have been talking about it, and I think I might be entering the political ring, and wouldn't it be ironic if I'm the Justice Minister someday?
Another story in our From the Ground Up series, local farmers selling food to local customers all through an online service. It's called the Food Hub, and it stretches from Bay St. George to Cormac on the island's west coast. And it's the first of its kind, supporting a dozen producers in that area. Here now, Colleen Connors reports.
The Food Hub starts here with these purple and green lettuces at Birchbark Farm.
Our products are lumped in with other farms' products. So as the customer orders, they could have, our spring mix and our sweet and spicy mix and sausages and steaks from another place and so on.
Richard Butt and staff are planting and harvesting every single week, growing lettuce, sprouts, and peppers. He participates in the Food Hub and calls it a seamless operation.
Food Hub, well, it's, it's taking all the local farmers, local producers, meat products, fish products from what I know, but they're taking local producers and connecting them with local customers. So that's what it's all about.
This is how the Food Hub works. On Monday morning, Bud will upload to the website what products he has available that week. Tuesday, customers place their orders. Wednesday looks a whole lot like this. Drying and packaging the greens for pickup. Thursday morning, a local courier service picks it up and brings it here, the Food Hub main office in Corner Brook. Staff with choices for youth sort and bag the food for pickup.
Well, I got a big head of cabbage for making some cabbage rolls. We have some kale. We have some ribs.
Customers like Jerry Rex love the service.
We think it's fantastic because we can order it in advance. They do it all up for us. We just pick it up and you get billed for it and pay for it online. So it's very, very easy to do. No long lineups, and we're supporting local farmers.
We've had an amazing response from customers and producers alike. We have a growing mailing list of over 500 customers, and we get about probably 50 to 60 orders a week, and that's excellent for a pilot program.
George runs the Food Hub through the nonprofit Food First NL, all funded provincially and federally and modeled on the Cape Breton Food Hub. The pilot program started to help farmers thrive during the pandemic, but it turned into a strong farmer-customer connection.
The producers have their own little farm stand, and that is amazing. It's excellent for their individual neighborhoods and communities, but what this allows is our smaller producers to be able to access the larger markets here in the city.
And this farmer agrees, but will continue to sell his products on the Food Hub late into the fall, even winter. While the Food Hub is a pilot project for this year, there are plans to continue it in 2022. And Butt and George want to see it grow.
No, we'll keep bringing our products there every single week as long as they're open.
Colleen Connors, CBC News, Corner Brook.
What a miserable day out there today in St. John's, windy and wet. It felt kind of stormy out there, actually.
Someone actually said that on Twitter. I can't remember exactly who it was, but said that it's the most hurricane-like un-hurricane day. It was very windy last night.
Yeah, it really was.
Yeah, it woke a couple of people up for sure. Winds gusting, I think 89 kilometers per hour is what we saw the top gust overnight last night in St. John. So certainly some pretty windy conditions. Same thing today, and we can thank that area of low pressure that has been sitting off the coast, making itself very comfortable. Let's take a look at that. It will eventually move off. The blocking pattern is going to end, but it is going to be unfortunately replaced with another area of low pressure. But as of what's happening right now, you can see plenty of cloud cover in that northwesterly flow. Lots of periods of rain as well, or some showers for most of eastern Newfoundland today, and then we've got even some high cloud rolling through. That's ahead of our next system, which is set to move in at late weekend, early next week. So taking a look at the cameras across the board, we're seeing rainy conditions for most. This is a live look at Gander, and then a live look at Paddy's Pond as well. Another thing that we've been seeing a lot lately is if it's raining, just turn on your windshield for sure, or windshield wipers, as well as your headlights, especially during the day when we start to see that rain and the foggy conditions as well through parts of the province. It's certainly best to just turn on your lights if you're driving at all in those conditions. And certainly that will be the story for most of the weekend still along the northeast coast, as we still see some of the rain drizzle and fog continue certainly tonight. though. Periods of rain will be the story for all areas along the northeast coast of the island of the province. As we head through the evening hours tonight and overnight hours, we will likely see some fog patches develop as well, and that will be the story pretty much as we head into the early morning hours. There's a look at that fog up through parts of Labrador as well as the northeast coast. We're going to continue to see those fog patches overnight, likely develop in the early morning hours. The further east you go, stick around through most of the day as well. And then as we get into the evening hours tomorrow, we'll eventually say goodbye to that, at least for a little while. As far as that wind goes, windy conditions today, they're going to eventually ease tonight, still gusting around 40 to 50 kilometers per hour for most areas. We may see some stronger wind gusts up along the northern peninsula as we get into the early morning hours. And then tomorrow, again, the winds will likely pick up in the afternoon. Winds not gusting likely between 60, maybe even some areas seeing 70 kilometers per hour in those exposed areas. But overall, winds will be around 40 to 50 for the most part. And then eventually, as we get into Sunday morning, the winds will ease off even further. So 40 to 50 kilometers per hour, it looks like. Temperatures tonight, not moving much. They haven't really moved much all week. We're looking at 6 to 9 degrees overnight tonight for most, and then up across Labrador a little bit cooler. Some showers possible again tonight for Nain at 1 degree, and Happy Valley Goose Bay going down to about 3 degrees. So tomorrow, area of low pressure still very much in play. However, as the afternoon rolls through, the conditions will get much nicer for pretty much the western half of the island. We'll see some clearing skies as the day goes on, but here's the next weather maker, and that could bring in some cloud cover a little bit earlier on Sunday for the west coast. So definitely have to keep an eye on that one. But temperatures tomorrow, not going to move much again, 7 to 9 degrees. Most areas will see that rain or drizzle through at least the first half of the day. Those winds again out of the north, 40 to 60. Some areas may see upwards of 70 kilometers per hour. Similar temperatures as you head towards central, maybe some cloudy periods down for Harbour Breton, maybe a few peaks of sun in the mix as well, but double-digit highs will be the story for you. Same thing towards the west coast, Corner Brook sitting around 11 degrees, but down along Burgeo, Port aux Basques area, again, sunshine. Chance of a few showers, but overall not a terrible day for you. 7 degrees for St. Anthony, 5 in Cartwright tomorrow. And then as you head towards Lab West, actually the nicest weather at this point, looking at 10 degrees and a mix of sun and cloud. But things will change though as we get towards the end of the weekend. May see some sunshine in the forecast. I'll break that down for you when I come back.
The Newfoundland Growlers are back on the ice at a training camp as the puck's about to drop on the ECHL season.
Tonight, a look back over the last 10 years of professional hockey in St. John's.
Welcome back. Well, yesterday marked a big anniversary in the sports history of St. John's. It was back in 2011. Yesterday was the night of the first home game in the history of the St. John's Ice Caps.
Yes, it was a long time coming for hockey-starved fans in this city who say the team still strikes a chord with them 10 years later. The CBC's Alex Kennedy is looking back on the impact of the Ice Caps on St. John's and some of the memories that came with the return of pro hockey.
I always used to say that my seat's in 102, row 2, 9 and 10. That's been my second home for a long time now, since 2011 at least.
Dewan Street has had season tickets for St. John's hockey ever since the Ice Caps' first game. It was a long time coming for hockey fans in the province who hadn't seen professional hockey since 2004 when the St. John's Maple Leafs left St. John's.
But when we got that news, it was huge.
The team came to the province on the heels of another team returning home, when the Winnipeg Jets announced they would be returning to Manitoba in 2011. IceCap CEO and former Premier Danny Williams was just wrapping up a career in politics at the time, and remembers everything quickly coming together once the team was in place.
We had to get a team on the ice by September. Fortunately, we had Glenn Stanford, because Glenn was the one who originally approached me. At that point, Glenn had over 20 years of experience in the AHL, so he knew what had to be done and what we needed to get done to get a team on the ice. And then we had to, of course, sit down and look at the financials on it. And we were taking on a huge financial burden, because before we ever opened an office or hired an individual, we had $1 million for a franchise fee, $1 million for travel, and $1 million for the rental of the facility. So even though if we didn't get the attendance, it could have been a losing proposition, we went forward and we never looked back. And like I said, we had sold out crowds and it was an exciting time.
Redmond with a shot, he scores!
The Ice Caps got off to a hot start that first season, making it all the way to the third round of the Calder Cup playoffs. The team would compete for the Cup in 2014, losing in 5 games to Texas. Fans also helped lead the Ice Caps to the league's top attendance for its first 3 years, something forward Jason King, originally from Corner Brook, said was always felt on the ice.
In the hockey world, St. John's isn't a great big market, but it felt like everybody was just so embraced in what was happening on the ice. Guys wanted to play in St. John's. Guys loved the Ice Cap brand, and they loved playing for the crest in front of them.
Gullick, and oh, what a save! Connor Hellebuyck, the All-Star.
One of those players proud to wear the Ice Caps jersey was Connor Hellebuyck, now known across the hockey world as one of the NHL's best goalies. Looking back on his time in St. John's, he remembers a devoted fan base who helped him grow as a player and person, and he even still holds a controversial opinion close to the heart of many townies.
The crowd, they did themselves justice. Like they were loud, they were screaming, they knew the game of hockey, they knew when to cheer, and it was a great experience.
For fish and chips, are you going Chesses or Leos?
Chesses.
Fast forward 10 years, and the team on the ice looks a little different. The first Ice Caps team would leave the province in 2015, after the Jets pulled them out of the province due to high travel costs. A second affiliation with the Montreal Canadiens lasted just 2 seasons. But a new team would call the province home in 2018 with the introduction of the Newfoundland Growlers. The Growlers are back on the ice this week after a COVID shutdown, gearing up for the new season. Looking back on 2011, Growlers owner Dean McDonald said the Ice Caps played a key part in re-establishing pro hockey in the province.
This city loves hockey, this province loves hockey, so suddenly they come roaring back with a team. It was like, they used to play the song, "The Boys Are Back in Town" for the Baby Leafs. It was all about that again.
And, the Growlers say, unlike other teams that have come and gone before them, they're here to stay.
When Toronto approached us about the ECHL and the Growlers, that was a really good fit. And the difference with the Growlers than with the iterations of the Ice Caps is that the Ice Caps were basically owned and managed by the parent club. And we're owned locally. It's Glenn and I. And so we're not going anywhere.
Heading into a new season, Dewan Street says there's a renewed sense of energy in the city and its fans. Something that wasn't out of place 10 years prior. Alex Kennedy, CBC News, St. John's.
Well, meanwhile, as we saw a moment ago, the Growlers are on the ice in Mount Pearl this week and next for a training camp.
Yeah, the team's first game is on Thursday. It's in Quebec, so we decided today to drop by the camp to see some of the players.
It's really exciting. It's one of those things, you know, when you take some time away from the game, you don't realize how much you miss it until it's gone. And I feel very fortunate that, you know, we're able to get back and able to get Growlers hockey back here in Newfoundland. And it seems like there's been quite a good buzz around the city with, you know, excitement of having hockey games come back and hopefully bring another exciting team to the ice and hopefully at the end of the day have another Kelly Cup here.
It's going well. The pace is high. The guys seem to be in good shape coming in, so it's going well so far. It's still a work in progress right now for me personally because I didn't play last year. I mean, I'm just happy to be back at it.
Seems like we're already clicking right away. A bunch of good guys here. Got older guys, younger guys. Everybody's meshing well together. And on the ice, we look really good so far. So, I'm really looking forward to the season.
That dressing room, you know, that they've won before. You can clearly tell that they've won before with how the guys that have been here, how tight they are, and they welcome everybody else that's new in here. So, you know, to have that dynamic is something, you know, very important if you want to have success, and to definitely having good guys in the room. We got a lot of those.
Yeah, it's exciting for sure. I mean, it's close to probably 19 months since there was hockey here, so for the people of the province, it's super exciting. It's kind of a taste of normalcy to get back and get back in a routine of having hockey around.
You know, there's been a lot of excitement. I think the first day especially, the boys were really just letting loose and playing as hard as they could and having a lot of fun, which is something that you need to have. You know, for myself, I haven't coached in 18 months essentially. Some of the guys in that room as well, they haven't been able to play in 18, 20 months. So, you know, there's been a lot of excitement, which is positive, and we're going to use that energy to keep moving forward.
Welcome back. Local comedy collective The Outhouse has been pumping out wildly popular online videos for years. Videos that are created by 4 guys, mostly in a shed for free. Well, today they're trying something different. They're hoping to sell their content and they're hoping that their fans will buy in. Their latest project is a Halloween special that they've been working on for a while, and tonight it's going to premiere in front of a live crowd at Kitty Vitty Brewery. Chrissy Holmes has that story.
As he sold out with an outhouse beer in his hand.
Wait, isn't this thing supposed to be scary?
Wow, it's everything I dreamed it would be. The shed as seen on the internet. Guys, thanks for inviting me over to check it out. Like, it looks exactly like it does online.
Yeah, no sweat. We're happy you guys came, and I'm sorry that there's someone working on a truck right now, but it's what happens in the shed, I guess.
The work got to be done, so.
Well, you guys seem like, yeah, you're kind of pretty close to who we know online. Like, you're like, usually we're at Orange thing.
Same person, just different suit, different color suit. There is no difference. Yeah.
Lots after happening in this shed. We've seen a lot of it online. And now today's a pretty big day. Congratulations on your special.
Thank you. Yeah. Appreciate it.
So tell us a little bit about, you know, the backstory, how it all came together.
Well, last year we had a really good year with the Outhouse. All the videos did pretty well. So at this point we just kind of figured we wanted to try something new. And with that, we just stumbled upon a Halloween special because we all love Halloween and we all love horror spoofs, which we've done a lot of in our time. So we figured, let's try to just make one big special and see if people love it or hate it. So hopefully they love it.
But this is like the longest piece you've done to date, right?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, usually I guess it's, single videos, probably 4 or 5 minutes long. But this here is a completely different thing. It's a lot longer. It's full,
But what we did is we just made a bunch of little videos like we usually did and just put them together to make it seem like a big, long video. So we kind of just cheated the system. Yeah. But it's still really good. You guys should check it out.
There are some cameos inside the special as well, like some of your, I guess, established friends who we see in your videos a lot. But it turns out you got some friends in some pretty high places, too.
Yeah, there's one. Are you talking about the Andrew Fury? We heard that Premier Andrew Fury was a big fan of the video. So I don't know. I don't want to say big fan. I don't want to put those words in his mouth. But I heard that we made him laugh.
He said we were tolerable, so we thought.
Yeah. So we reached out to him. We had our people call his people, and that made us sound important. So, and then he agreed to be in the video, and he did a great job, and he's actually hilarious. He was a great guy too.
Yeah.
How did you get in my office?
Listen, Drew, boy, that's neither here nor there. Can I call you Drew?
Well, actually, my parents...
Drew, boy, me and the boys is making this horror special, eh? And I got no scary ideas. Think you might be able to help?
When we walked in his office, I remember there's people in front of me, and he was just sitting at his desk. And then as soon as I walked in, it's just he looked up, and his eyes just it's like he was just excited to meet the guys from the internet, which was hilarious to us because we would never imagine that he would even see the videos. But for him to enjoy them and be excited to meet us is mind-blowing. But yeah, Justin here. I'm currently editing the special, and I just realized all the skits kind of run into each other. It might be a bit confusing. So to make it easier to follow, I figured I'd make a video, and every time you see this video, you'll know one skit ended and another skit is just about to start.
What was your role in this whole special?
I wrote it, edited it, directed it, and acted in it. I almost forgot that one, but I'm also in it, yeah. But I also had a lot of help, filming and writing, these guys. As we're doing it, they come up with things on the spot. So it's not just all me. It's just I come up with the guideline to everything and write a script. But then when we get out there, things get changed. It's just being surrounded by hilarious people.
Usually you guys put all your content for free up online, but this time you're going to try something a little bit different. I mean, it is a longer special. So what's the plan? How can people watch this?
You go to our website and you there's just an easy click of a button there, and then you just put in your information and you buy it for, I think it's $10.99. And the reason we did this is we just wanted to try something new, and we always wanted to make a movie. So I feel right now, without getting any funding, we just did this all ourselves. So we just kind of look at this as our movie. And hopefully it opens the doors to things that we could do in the future, and hopefully even a bigger scale at some point. Marcus didn't even see it yet.
I'm like
He's seeing it for the first time tonight.
What? Really?
Honestly, yeah. I'm one of those guys. I can't watch trailers. I can't watch like anything. It's like if I go into something, I don't want to know nothing about it. And like I don't know no skits that Mike are in. I know the ones I'm in, but only the lines I've done. Like I don't know what they're about. So like I'm with everyone else on this one.
How you feeling about that?
I'm kind of nervous actually. I've been feeling kind of weird all day. Like I don't know, but me and Justin were talking about it last night at the supper table, and anyways, he kind of gave me goosebumps a few times talking about it. So I don't know. I think I'm definitely gonna.
I love the idea of Marcus goes and he just hates it. Like he's like, this sucks.
Yeah.
He's like, why did you put me?
If I get him walk away halfway through, we can assume that I'm definitely hating it. You know. But I really got my.
No, I mean, it's really good. It's really good.
Shocking international news. British police say counter-terrorism officers are leading the investigation into the murder of a member of parliament. Sir David Amess was stabbed to death today at a church near London.
We made it clear at the time of the incident that we did not believe there was any immediate further threat to anyone else in the area. It will be for investigators to determine whether or not this is a terrorist incident. But as always, they will keep an open mind.
The 69-year-old Amess was attacked and killed during a meeting with constituents. Police arrested a 25-year-old man at the scene, where they also recovered a knife. Police gave no details on the motive for the killing of the long-serving MP. Now, this attack comes 5 years after Labour Party MP Jo Cox was murdered by a far-right extremist in her small-town constituency office.
The United States is lifting travel restrictions on November 8th for fully vaccinated travelers arriving by air, land, or passenger ferry. Foreign nationals will be able to travel to the U.S. if they show proof of vaccination and a negative COVID-19 test taken within 3 days of travel. Only essential products and workers have been allowed to cross into the U.S. from Canada and Mexico for a year and a half. The announcement is especially good news for business owners near border crossings. They've seen their bottom line hit hard since the closure. Time to find out who's celebrating. Happy 60th anniversary to Joan and Churchill Muservy of Stephenville. Congratulations to Dorothy and Celestine Clark on their 52nd anniversary. Gilbert and Mamie Oakley of Chamberlains are celebrating their 57th anniversary. Happy 52nd anniversary to Flo and Max Petal of Hodges Cove, Trinity Bay. Best wishes to Clarence and Gay Rumbold of Mary's Harbor, now living in Corner Brook. They're celebrating their 53rd anniversary.
Happy anniversary to Alma and Charlie Anderson of Burgeo. They're celebrating 62 years of marriage. Happy anniversary to Harry and Rosemary Phillips, who will be celebrating their 65th anniversary tomorrow. Happy 55th anniversary to Ingrid and Robert Lucas of Mount Pearl. Bill and Eileen Rule of Placentia are celebrating their 61st anniversary today. And anniversary greetings going out to Sharon and Jules Miralt. It's their 50th.
Shirley and Barry Lane of Paradise are also celebrating 50 years of marriage. Happy 55th anniversary to Aubrey and Zeta Parsons of Lumsden. Congratulations to Linda and Tom Boland of Calvert. It's their 51st wedding anniversary. Wishing Harold and Pearl Short of Glovertown a very happy 55th wedding anniversary today. Happy 50th anniversary tomorrow to Clem and Jackie Drake.
Wishing Wayne and Rita Mullins in Kilbride a happy 50th wedding anniversary. And congratulations to Barb and Mac Hayward in Newman's Cove, who are celebrating their golden anniversary today. Happy 52nd anniversary to Gerald and Marion Parsons in Happy Valley Goose Bay. Happy 58th anniversary to Wilford and Stella Button of Lead Cove. Lloyd and Georgina Fudge in Burgeo are also celebrating 58 years of marriage. Congratulations.
Now to some birthdays. Birthday wishes going out to Ruth Maidment of Happy Valley Goose Bay. She just turned 90. Happy birthday to Blanche Byrne. She's celebrating her 96th birthday. Best wishes going out to Shirley Bursey, who is celebrating her 93rd birthday. Doris Hines from Holyrood, now living in St. John's, is celebrating her 90th birthday. Happy birthday to Joseph Hopkins of Greens Harbor, who is celebrating his 94th birthday.
And birthday wishes going out to Joyce Holloway of Monroe. She's turning 90. And happy 90th birthday as well to Martha Douglas in Grand Bank. And wishing Henry Young of Grand Falls, Windsor a very happy 90th birthday. And happy birthday to Isaac Morgan in Seal Cove, Conception Bay South, who's celebrating his 92nd birthday. And best wishes to Bessie Redman of Norris Arms South on her 93rd birthday today. We're told she's proudly known as the Queen of Leslie Street.
Nice. Another fine crowd. Congratulations once again. So looking ahead at the weather forecast, earlier in the show, we were talking about the Cape to Cabot race that's happening on Sunday. Jeremy Eaton had a story about that. So what's the weather looking like for those ambitious runners on Sunday?
Well, it's unfortunately much of the same that we've been seeing for the past, week, I guess, since Monday?
Feels like forever, but yeah.
It does feel like forever. But let's take a look at that forecast. Looking at some unfortunately gray skies. Now there's a slight chance we could see the sun peek out, and I'm talking really slight chance, but at this point I'm going to keep that temperature in and around 6 degrees, which I guess is kind of good running weather. It's better than it being really, really warm, but 6 degrees, some drizzle, and those winds will still be out of the northwest, gusting anywhere from 20 to 40 kilometers per hour. So good luck to all of you that are racing. Now the rest of us across the province going to see another unsettled day. Again, that area of low pressure, though, starting to make its way out of here, but we're still going to be under the influence, at least for a little bit on Sunday, with some showers. And then we're watching the next weather maker move in. Now there is some disagreement on just when this will happen. There's a slight chance we could actually see some sunshine to start for most of the west and south, but this model pointing at some showers right through the morning hours and into the afternoon. We do switch though to that southerly flow along the south coast. And then here's that rain that's going to move in. So late day Sunday, it looks like into early Monday, the winds will start to ramp up for the southwest, and then some periods of rain will move in as well. And that will generally be the story as those showers work their way across the province through the day on Monday. So certainly a rainy start to the week as well, more in the way of rainy periods of rain through the day. Sunday's forecast, this is what it's looking like right now. Again, keeping that sun icon in there to start, but we may see that cloud cover move in a little bit earlier. 13 degrees, so it looks like for Corner Brook, same thing for Port aux Basques, and those single digits, again, all along the northeast coast of the province. 6 degrees in Lab City for your Sunday, and then into Monday, there's all that rain that I was talking about. Those temperatures not really moving too much either, between 9 to 11 degrees for most of the island. Northern Peninsula a little bit cooler. Some sunshine it looks like for you up in Nain, and then Cartwright looking at about 7 degrees. So after that, finally looks like we'll see a little bit of a break. Going to keep just cloudy skies for Monday at this point, but that rain will return Tuesday and Wednesday. For central Newfoundland, there's your forecast. Again, some gray skies, 8 to 10 degrees is the afternoon highs. Same thing for western Newfoundland after Sunday. And then we're back into that rain. And then for eastern Labrador, you're looking at sunshine through Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday looking a tad unsettled, but we're turning that snow in the forecast for you for Lab West as we get into Tuesday and Wednesday. Had to share this photo. Stunning sunset in Greenpoint. Thank you, Andrew. If you have any weather photos, send them to nlphotos@cbc.ca.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
Very sweet.
Another great shot. Well, it's Friday. Thank you so much for spending part of your Friday evening with us. We hope to see you again on Monday.
Yep, week spun by. We'll see you then.
Good night.